She's been secretly controlling every stitch, every thread, and every moment, while pretending to be unaware. But behind her calm facade, a twisted game is unfolding that could shatter everything her husband believes is real. In this story, you'll discover how a silent manipulation turns into a dangerous obsession, unraveling the fragile trust between two people. What starts as a simple act, her watching over him, masks a dark secret that's slowly destroying their lives from the inside out. And here's the twist you won't see coming. Her quiet power might be her deadliest weapon, and the truth about their blanket will change everything. You won't believe what she's really been hiding all along, something that could ruin them both. If you're ready to uncover the shocking secrets behind her calm exterior, hit that like button now. And tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? Because this story is about trust, betrayal, and the dangerous strength of silence, and you won't want to miss a second. I woke up early that morning. The house was quiet. The sunlight came through the window, but did not wake my husband. I looked at him as he slept. His face was calm, but I felt something was strange. I got up slowly and moved to the room where the baby monitor was. I kept it on because I wanted to watch him, even when I was not in the same room. The monitor was small and black. It showed a little picture of the bedroom. I pressed the button to see the screen. At first, I was learning that sometimes silence can be stronger than words. And so, I waited. I watched. My quiet game had just begun. I woke up early the next morning. The house was quiet. I sat in my chair and looked around. Everything seemed normal. But I knew something was happening at night. I had seen my husband in the dark, hunched over and finger knitting again. I wondered what he was making and why he was so quiet about it. That night, I decided to watch him again. I didn't want to disturb him. I just wanted to see what he was doing. I took the baby monitor and turned it on. I put it on the table near my bed so I can see and hear everything. When the clock showed it was late, I saw him get up from the sofa. He moved softly, like he didn't want to wake anyone. He went to our room and closed the door behind him. I waited quietly. I pressed the button on the monitor so I could see and hear inside. I saw him sitting in the dark. His big hands moved slowly. His fingers worked over the yarn. I could see the little blanket he was making. It was small and uneven, with some loose stitches, but I knew he was trying very hard. His face looked serious, but also sad. He sat very still, concentrating. I watched him finger knitting. It was strange, but also kind of beautiful. I felt a tiny flutter inside me. A part of me wanted to stop him, but another part wanted to see what he was really doing. He stayed like that for a long time. His fingers moved over the yarn, making small loops. Every few minutes, he looked at his work and sighed. I wondered why he was so worried. Was he afraid I would find out? Or was he just lost in his own world? I pressed the button again so I could listen. I heard soft noises, his breathing, the faint sound of yarn sliding through his fingers. He muttered to himself sometimes, words I couldn't hear clearly. I felt a strange mix of curiosity and guilt. I knew he was doing this because he wanted to make something special, but I also wondered if he was hiding something from me. After a while, I saw him put the yarn down. He rubbed his eyes and stretched. He looked tired, but peaceful. Then he got up quietly and went back to the sofa. I turned off the monitor and sat still. I wasn't sure what to think. That night, I felt my mind spinning with questions. Why was he knitting? Was it really just a blanket? Or was there something more? I knew he was hiding something, but I didn't want to stop him. I wanted to watch a little more, just to understand. The next morning, I stayed quiet. I didn't ask him about the blanket. I didn't want to scare him or make him hide it even more. I kept my eyes open. I remembered how he seemed so serious and lost in his work. I wondered what it all meant. That day, I thought about my own feelings. I was feeling something strange. I was curious, but also a little proud. I was controlling the situation without him knowing. I was watching him, learning about his secret. I felt a little power inside me, but I also felt sad. Why was he so afraid to tell me? What was he really hoping for? Tonight, I will keep watching. I want to see if he keeps knitting, if he finishes the blanket, or if he stops, afraid that I will find out his secret. Each night, I learn more. I realize that this quiet game of ours is changing us in ways I don't understand yet. I don't know what will happen next, but I know one thing. I am watching, and I am waiting. I want to see the truth behind his quiet, secret world, and I will decide what to do when I know everything. I wake up early in the morning. The house is quiet. I sit in the living room and listen. The baby is still sleeping. I look at the baby monitor. It is small and black. I see the screen glowing softly. It shows the bedroom. My husband is asleep there, or so I think. But then I remember, last night I saw him in the dark. He was sitting on the bed, very still. His hands moved slowly, like he was knitting. I felt a strange feeling inside me. It was curiosity and something else. I wanted to know what he was doing. I got up slowly so I wouldn't wake him. I tiptoed to the door and looked at the monitor again. I watched him for a long time. His back was hunched over. His shoulders moved up and down. He was very focused. I wondered, what is he making? Why does he do it at night? I feel like I already know, but I also want to see more. I decide to stay quiet. I do not wake him. I do not ask questions. I want to see what happens next. Later in the morning, he wakes up. He looks sleepy but happy. I watch him from a distance. He comes into the kitchen and sits at the table. I don't say anything. I just watch. He looks at me and smiles a little, like he wants to say something but doesn't. I see the tiny lines on his face. He seems tired but peaceful. Still, I wonder if he is happy with his secret. That night, I watch him again. I sit near the door, hidden in the shadows. The room is dark now. The only light is from the moon outside. I see him get the small box from the drawer. It's old and worn out. Inside, I see little balls of yarn. Blue, red, green, all different colors. He takes out a pair of tiny knitting needles. They are small, like for a child. He sets to work carefully. His hands shake a little, but he keeps going. I see him trying to make a pattern. His face is serious. Sometimes he sighs quietly. I feel a strange mix of feelings. Part of me wants to stop him. Part of me feels proud that he is doing something so quietly, so carefully. I think, maybe this blanket is very important to him. Maybe it is his way of saying he loves me. Or maybe he is just trying to find comfort. As I watch, I realize something. He is not a monster. He is just a man trying to fix something inside himself. His secret knitting is his way of coping. It makes me wonder, what if I had never looked? What if I had let him do it all alone? I sit very still. I do not make a sound. I want to see how long he keeps knitting. I want to understand him better. Slowly, I stand up and walk away. I leave him in the quiet room, working on his blanket in the darkness. In the days that follow, I keep watching. I see him sit at night, just like before. He gets better at knitting. His fingers move faster. Sometimes he looks tired, but he keeps going. I can tell he wants to finish the blanket. Maybe he hopes I will see it someday. I feel a strange power in me. Not a loud power, but a quiet one. I know his secret now. I know what makes him happy and what makes him sad. I could tell him I see him, but I choose not to. I like having this little secret myself. Sometimes I wonder if I should talk to him about it, but I decide to wait. Let him think he is hidden, safe. Let him believe he can keep his secret. I watch him work in the dark, and I feel something strange. I feel like I am part of his secret story now. That night, I go to bed early. I feel tired but happy. I think about the blanket. I think about him sitting quietly, making something with his hands. I think about how I watched him from the shadow. I realize that this secret weaving, this quiet knitting, has become part of us. It's not just yarn and needles. It's a small piece of his hidden world. It's a piece of me too, because I know and I see and I choose what to do next. Tomorrow I will keep watching. I will see if he finishes his blanket. I will see if he shows it to me. But for now, I feel calm. I feel like I know a little more about the man I married. And I wonder, what will happen next? I woke up early in the morning. The house was quiet. I sat still and listened. My mind was busy thinking about what I had seen last night. I knew my husband was hiding something. I could feel it deep inside me. That night, I stayed in bed but kept my eyes open. I looked at the baby monitor. The small screen showed the dark room. I saw him. My husband was in the corner, hunched over a tiny blanket. His fingers moved slowly, carefully. His face was serious but soft. I watched him work, silently. I thought about what I saw. He wasn't just sitting quietly. He was making something with his hands. Something small, something that looked like a tiny blanket. His fingers moved clumsily, but with care. It seemed like he wanted to do it perfectly. I wondered why he was hiding this, why he was so serious about it. I didn't move or make a sound. I wanted to see what would happen next. I felt a strange feeling inside me. It was a mix of curiosity and something else, maybe pride or a little fear. As I watched, I remembered how he looked last night. He was like a big, strong man, but when he was knitting, he seemed very fragile, like a small boy trying to do something important. I felt a little sorry for him. I also felt powerful. I was the only one who knew about his secret. I was the only one watching. My mind raced with questions. Did he do this because he was sad? Or maybe he wanted to make something nice for us? Or was it just a way for him to feel calm? I didn't know, but I knew I wanted to stay quiet. I didn't want to scare him. I wanted to see what he would do next. That morning, I kept my secret. I smiled to myself. I decided I would not say anything right now. I wanted to see if he would keep knitting or if he would stop. I didn't want to change anything yet. I just wanted to watch and learn. As the day went on, I felt a little strange. Part of me wanted to ask him about the blanket. Part of me wanted to tell him to stop. But I chose to hold back. I told myself, let him do this. Let him have his secret moment. That night, I waited again. This time, I felt more calm. I knew what he was doing. I knew that his secret knitting was important to him. Maybe it was his way of showing love or fixing something inside himself. He worked quietly, just like the night before. Sometimes he dropped a stitch. Sometimes he looked tired. But he kept going. I saw him focus more and more. It was like the blanket was becoming a part of him. I stayed in my room and watched from near the baby monitor. I didn't move or make noise. I just listened and watched. I felt a strange mixture of feelings. Still curiosity, a little envy, and a hint of sadness. I thought about how he was trying so hard. He was making something that maybe nobody else knew about. He was doing it in secret, just like he wanted to hide his feelings. In that moment, I realized something. His secret wasn't just about knitting. It was about hope. Hope that he could show love or fix something broken inside him. Maybe he thought if he made this blanket, I would see how much he cared. Or maybe he just needed to do something nice, even if nobody knew. That morning, I decided to keep my silence. I would let him finish his blanket. I would watch and wait. I knew I had power, but I also knew I had to be careful, because sometimes secrets can grow heavy. And I wanted to see where all of this would lead. I wanted to understand him better, even if he didn't know I was watching. I felt quiet inside, but also strong. I knew I was part of his secret world now, and I wondered what would happen next. It was late at night again. I sat in the dark, watching the baby monitor. The light from the screen was small but clear. My husband was there, hunched over in the quiet room. I could see him, moving his fingers carefully. He was knitting again. I felt a strange mix inside me. Part of me wanted to ask him what he was doing. Part of me wanted to stop him. But I knew better. I had learned to stay quiet. I watched as he carefully pulled the yarn through the needles. His face was serious, almost sad. I saw him tighten his grip, then relax. His shoulders looked tense, but he kept going. I wondered how long he had been working on this blanket. Was it days? Weeks? I took a deep breath. I wasn't sure what I was feeling. A small voice in my head told me I was starting to understand him. I saw that this was more than just knitting. It was something he needed, something he was hiding from everyone. Usually, I would feel nervous or curious. But tonight, I felt something else. I felt like I was holding a secret too. A secret that was ours alone. I looked at the screen. My husband's movements were slow but steady. I could see him struggling a little. His fingers fumbled with the yarn sometimes. I knew he was trying hard. He wanted to make something perfect, or maybe just to keep going. I wondered why he did this every night. Was he lonely? Did he hope I would see? Or did he just need to do it? I didn't ask. I kept quiet, just watching. In my mind, I knew I had to be careful. If I said something, everything could change. Maybe he would stop. Maybe he would get upset or hide even more. I didn't want that. I wanted to see what he was feeling, even if I didn't say a word. Suddenly, I remembered something. The first night I saw him with the yarn, I felt a little jealous. I wished I knew what he was thinking. Now I realized this was more than just a blanket. It was his way of telling himself everything was okay. Or maybe it was his hope for us. I looked at him through the monitor. He looked so serious. I wondered if he knew I was watching. Did he feel my eyes? Or was he so focused that he didn't notice? I stayed still. I didn't want to scare him. I wanted to understand him. I wanted to see him like this, quiet and fragile, just for a little while longer. Then he paused. He looked down at the blanket he was making. I saw his face change. It was almost like he was thinking about something very important. I wondered if he was happy or sad, or maybe both. He sighed softly. His shoulders sank a little. He reached out and smoothed the yarn. Then he kept knitting. Faster this time, like he was in a hurry to finish. I felt my heart beat slow. I didn't want to move or make a sound. I just watched as he worked, night after night. I knew his secret now, and I understood that this blanket was more than just fabric. It was his hopes, his fears, and maybe his love. In that quiet moment, I made a small decision. I would keep watching. I wouldn't ask questions. Not yet. I wanted to see what would happen next, because sometimes silence is the loudest thing of all, and sometimes it can hold the deepest truths. I woke up early that morning. The house was quiet. The sun shone softly through the window. I sat up in bed and looked around. Everything seemed normal, but I knew better than that. Things were never really normal anymore. Last night, I watched my husband again. I had stayed awake while he was in the living room. The baby monitor was on, and I listened carefully. I could hear the faint sound of his fingers moving. I knew he was knitting his blanket. I felt a strange pull inside me, part curiosity, part pride, part something darker. I remembered how he had looked when he was focused on his knitting. His brow was furrowed, his lips pressed tight. Sometimes I saw him pause, then sigh. It was strange to see him so quiet and serious. His secret obsession was like a tiny, hidden world he kept all to himself. I decided to get up quietly. I didn't want to disturb him. I wanted to see how he was doing. I tiptoed to the door of the living room and looked inside. There he was, sitting in the dark, hunched over a small pile of yarn. His fingers moved quickly, clumsy but full of care. His head was bowed, and his shoulders shook a little. I could hear him breathe softly, almost like he was whispering to himself. It was like he was talking to the blanket he was making. I watched him for a moment. I felt a strange mix of emotions. Part of me wanted to shout, "Stop it." Part of me wanted to reach out and help him. But I held back. I stayed silent. I knew I wasn't ready to say anything yet. After a while, he put down his knitting and stood up slowly. He looked around the room, then sat back down on the couch. He looked tired, like he had been working very hard. His face was full of worry. like he carried a heavy secret. I knew that moment was important. I had seen him at his most vulnerable. He was trying so hard to hide how he felt. Sometimes, I wondered why he kept this secret so carefully, why he needed to knit at night, alone, in the dark. I went back to my room and sat on my bed. I thought about everything I had seen. I was starting to understand him better. His knitting was not just about the blanket. It was about his feelings, his hopes, maybe even his fears. I also thought about me. I had been watching him, keeping everything inside. I hadn't told anyone about what I knew. I had stayed silent, like a quiet watcher. Now I felt something new inside me. I felt stronger, like I was holding something very precious, something that could change everything. But I also felt afraid, because I knew that keeping secrets was dangerous, and I wondered how long I could stay silent. That morning, I decided I wouldn't say a word. Not yet. I wanted to see what would happen next. I would watch and wait, just a little longer, because I knew one thing for sure. Secrets can stay hidden for a while, but eventually they come out. And when they do, nothing is the same anymore. I took a deep breath and looked out the window. The world outside was peaceful, but inside, I knew the quiet game was not over, not yet. I wake up early in the morning. The house is quiet. I sit in the kitchen and look out the window. I think about how things have been changing. My husband is still hiding his secret. I know what he is doing at night. I know he is knitting that blanket, just like before. But now I feel something different inside me. I feel more aware. I am no longer just watching quietly. I realize I have a little bit of power. I control the situation by staying silent. I let him believe he is hiding well. But I know the truth. I see how he is breaking a little each day. I remember last night. I watched him through the baby monitor. It is small and clear. I saw him sitting in the dark. His big hands moved slowly. His fingers pushed and pulled the yarn. He looked tired, but focused. It was funny and strange. I thought about how much he wanted me to see his work. He was nervous. I could tell by the way he looked around sometimes. But he kept knitting. It was like he was trying to fix something inside himself. I wondered why he needed to do this alone. Was it because he was sad? Or maybe he wanted me to notice. Or perhaps he just liked the quiet, simple act of knitting. I stayed still. I didn't say a word. I just watched. It felt good to be in control without talking. I saw him breathe deeply. His face looked both tired and hopeful. I knew he hoped I would love what he was making. But I didn't say anything. I just watched and waited. Later, I thought about what I should do next. I had the power because I knew his secret. I could stop him, or I could let him keep going. I chose to do nothing. I wanted to see what would happen if I kept silent. Maybe he would become more honest, or maybe he would become more desperate. In the afternoon, he was quiet. He looked at the yarn and the blanket. Sometimes he touched it gently. I saw sadness in his eyes. He was trying to control his feelings with his hands. I wanted to help him, but I knew I should not. I learned that silence can be a kind of strength. It can make him feel more alone or maybe more honest. That evening, he came to me. His face was full of worry. His voice was soft and shaky. "I've been doing this for a long time," he said. "It's my secret. I wanted to make something for us, for you, to show how much I love you." I looked at him carefully. He was afraid I would be angry or upset. But I didn't show my feelings. I just listened. He kept talking. "I wanted to make a blanket so I could keep you warm, so I could keep you close in my heart. I thought if I made this, maybe you would see how much I care." His words made me feel strange inside. I saw how much he wanted my approval. I wondered if I should tell him I knew everything. But I didn't. I stayed quiet. I wanted to see how far he would go. I felt a strange mix of feelings. Part of me wanted to say, "I know your secret." Part of me wanted to keep his trust, even if it was only a small lie. I thought about how I was controlling his feelings, his worries, his hopes. That night, I sat in the same place as him. I listened as he quietly continued to knit. His fingers moved slow and careful. I watched him work. I thought about how his secret obsession was both sad and beautiful. It was his way of trying to fix himself. Even if it was a little silly, I realized something. I was not just watching him, I was shaping what would happen next. My silence was like a silent trap. It made him feel more nervous, more guilty, more desperate. I didn't stop him. I let him keep going. And as I watched, I understood that I had become part of his secret world. I knew everything, but I kept quiet. I was both the watcher and the silent judge. I felt a strange power inside me. It was a quiet strength, born from knowing and not saying. I looked at the small blanket he was making. It was clumsy and uneven, but to him, it was perfect. It was his gift, his love, his hope. I thought about how secrets can become heavy. They can make people break inside. But secrets can also hide the truth. And sometimes, silence is the strongest thing of all. As the night grew darker, I sat back and closed my eyes. I knew I was playing a dangerous game, but I also knew I was in control now. My silence was my weapon. It was my way of making him feel what he could not say. Tomorrow is another day. I will keep watching. I will keep silent. And I will see what will happen next. Because in this house, secrets are like quiet storms. They can shake everything, and no one can see them coming. But I am ready. I will wait and watch and see how it all ends. And maybe, just maybe, I will understand what this quiet game is really about. I stand quietly in the living room. The house is still. Outside, the night is dark and cold. I look at the baby monitor. The small screen shows my husband's face. He is in the dark, hunched over in the corner. He is doing something I have seen many nights before. He is finger knitting a blanket. His hands move slowly and carefully, but I notice they tremble a little. His eyes are tired, and his face looks worried. I watch him without making a sound. I feel a strange mix of feelings inside me. Part of me feels proud. Part of me feels curious. Part of me feels guilty. I remember the first time I saw him doing this. I didn't say anything. I just watched. I wanted to see what he was doing. Now I know. I know that the blanket is more than just a cloth. It is a secret, a part of him that he hides from everyone. I stand very still. I see him work. His fingers stumble sometimes. He looks so serious, so focused on his task. I wonder why he has to hide it. Why does he do this every night? I take a deep breath. I tell myself to be patient. I decide not to disturb him tonight. I want to see what he does next. As I watch, I notice something strange. His shoulders shake a little. He is not just knitting, he is also crying softly. I hear it in his quiet breath. He is sad, very sad. I feel a small ache inside me. I want to go to him. I want to ask what is wrong. But I don't say a word. I stay silent. I watch him cry and knit at the same time. I know now. His secret is hard for him. It is a way for him to feel better, even if it makes him sad. He finishes a small part of the blanket. He gently pats it with his hand, as if reassuring himself. Then he puts the blanket down. He sits back in his chair and looks at the unfinished piece. He sighs very quietly. His head falls back and he closes his eyes for a moment. I see tears on his cheeks. He looks so tired and lonely. I step closer to the window. I want to understand more. I want to know what he feels. But I also want to stay strong. I decide to keep watching, to stay silent a little longer. In my mind, I think about everything. I think about the nights I spent watching him. I think about all the secrets wrapped in that small piece of cloth. I think about how much he wants my love, my approval. But I also think about me, about what I have done. I have been silent because I wanted to see him, to understand him. Maybe I wanted to see if he really needs me. Now I realize something important. His secret obsession is not just about knitting. It is about hope. Hope that I will see what he does and maybe understand him better. Or maybe, hope that I will love him more if he finishes the blanket. I feel a strange strength inside me. I know I could tell him I saw everything. I could say I know, but I won't. I want to see if he will tell me himself. I want to see how much he can hold inside. I stay in my place and watch him quietly. The night is long, and the house is silent. I think about the game we are playing, a game of secrets and lies. But I also think about love. Hidden behind the shadows, there is still love. Tomorrow I might say something, or I might keep watching. I don't know yet, but for now I watch him. I see his tears, his effort, his hope, and I know that the quiet game we play is not over yet, not by a long shot. I turn away slowly. I step back from the window and go to sit in my chair. I feel calm, yet strange. I have seen a lot tonight, but I have said nothing. I am still the silent watcher, still the one who knows his secret. And that, I think, is the real power. The power of silence. The power of knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. The power of watching love's hidden wounds and holding my own secrets close. The house is quiet now. I sit and look at the dark window. Outside, the night keeps going. Inside, I feel a little lighter. I know more than before, but I will wait. I will wait for him to tell me what he feels. When he is ready, until then, I will keep my silence, and I will watch. I sit quietly in the dark. Outside, the house is still. My eyes are on the baby monitor. I watch my husband through the small screen. Every night he goes to a quiet corner of the room. He sits alone. Sometimes I see him hunched over a small ball of yarn. His fingers move slowly. I know what he is doing. He is knitting a blanket. I have watched him many nights. I see how serious he is. His face looks tired but focused. Sometimes his eyes look sad. Sometimes he wipes his hand across his face, as if he is tired or upset. I feel both curiosity and a strange feeling inside me. I wonder why he keeps this secret. I wonder what it means. I have stayed silent. I have not asked him about it. I want to see what will happen. I want to understand him better. I know he is trying to make something special. Maybe he hopes I will see it someday. Maybe he wants me to know he is doing this for us. Or maybe he just needs to do something with his hands to feel better. Tonight, I watch him again. He is still there in the dark. His fingers move quickly now, more clumsy than before. I see him drop a small piece of yarn. He sighs deeply. His shoulders are tense. I can tell he is worried or upset. I feel a strange ache inside me. Part of me wants to stop him. Part of me wants to help him. But I stay still. I keep watching. He stops knitting for a moment. He looks at the blanket piece he has made. It is rough and uneven. Still, he looks proud and nervous at the same time. He picks up the pieces and continues. His fingers move slowly but carefully now. I notice how much effort he puts into it. It's clear he wants to make it perfect, even if it is not. As the night goes on, I see him cry quietly. His shoulders shake a little. I wonder what he is feeling inside. Does he hope I will see his work and love him? Does he worry I will be angry? I think about what he is doing. This blanket is more than just cloth. It is his way of saying he cares. It is his secret way of showing love. I feel a mix of feelings. I am proud of him. I am sad for him. I also feel powerful, because I know his secret now. I have watched him and understood. I know what he is trying to do. I could tell him I saw. I could stop him, but I do not. I keep silent. I want to see what he will do next. I look at the small blanket pieces. They are not perfect, but they are full of his feelings. I think about how he has been hiding this. Why did he not tell me? Does he think I will be mad, or does he hope I will like it? I realize that his secret is more than knitting. It is his hope to be loved, to be accepted. Tonight, I finally understand something very important. The blanket is not just cloth. It is a symbol. It shows his love and his fear. It shows how much he wants to be close to me. But he is also afraid of rejection. He keeps this secret to protect himself. And I have kept quiet, because I want to see him truly. As I watch him work in the dark, I feel a strange kind of respect. I see how much effort he puts into his secret. I see how much he needs to do this. I feel a small ache inside me, something like guilt or sadness. I wonder if I should tell him I saw, or should I stay silent? I think about how long I have kept my own secrets hidden in my heart. Now I know that silence can be a kind of power. I have held the secret of his knitting. I have watched him with quiet patience. I have let him struggle and suffer a little. Because I believe that sometimes love means letting someone be who they are, even if they hide it. Sometimes trust is shown in silence, in waiting. Tonight is the last night I will watch him without speaking. I am not sure what will happen next, but I do know that I am part of this story now. His secret has become part of us. It is a small but important piece of our lives. I take a deep breath. I turn off the monitor. I stand quietly and walk away. Tomorrow the story may change. Maybe he will tell me about his knitting. Maybe I will find a way to talk to him. But tonight, I keep his secret close in my heart. I have watched, I have understood, and I am silent, because sometimes silence is the strongest way to love.